Hello flower fans, welcome to Chelsea. I am here today to tell you all about the free flower festival in London that's happening this May. Belgravia and Chelsea in Bloom are taking place this year. They've got a brand new theme for this year and I'm going to show you all of my tips and tricks on how to enjoy this fabulous time. I'm Claire in the city, I'm your flower Easter in the city and I'll be taking you around today, so come with. In line with the RHS Chelsea Flower Show, which is just around the corner, Chelsea in Bloom and Belgravia in Bloom take place between the 18th and 24th of May for 2026. This guide will take you through the themes, followed by the essential tips that I've used over the last 10 years to make sure I don't miss any of my favourite displays, followed by a few tips on what to wear, finishing with an ideal route from Sloane Square all the way to Victoria, with street-by-street guides. But let's start off with the theme. The things I love so much about Chelsea in Bloom is that they have a theme every year. I love the fact that it brings so much creativity out. For example, we had a love theme in the year that Harry and Meghan got married. We had a British theme when it was the coronation. We had a foodie theme, which my friend Fatina really loved. We also had last year, which was fashion. So we had dresses everywhere and lipsticks. It was incredible. This year for Chelsea in Bloom for 2026, the theme is out of this world, which means I think they've been listening to Taylor Swift and her Tortured Poets department theme, and they're bringing the UFOs to us. So I'm going to read you a little extract from the website. Extending the magic of Chelsea Flower Show across the neighbourhood, expect an intergalactic wonderland of creativity, drawing on astrology, mythology, spiritual symbolism and celestial magic. Alongside a dazzling zodiac constellation taking over Sloane Square, visitors can enjoy UFO landing on Pavilion Road and an immersive lunar landscape at Duke of York Square, with even more surprises along King's Road and Sloane Street. This is probably one of the themes where I cannot imagine what they're going to do, but I'm hoping they take lots of inspiration from stars and planets and the zodiac signs. I think you can have so much fun with it and I cannot wait to see it. The theme this year for Belgravia in Bloom for 2026 is Fairy Tales in Belgravia. I am so excited to see how this is interpreted across these amazing stores. This is going to bring a sense of magic to the area with displays inspired by nostalgia, imagination and otherworldly charm. One of my top tips for Chelsea in Bloom and Belgravia in Bloom is to try and do your research before you come, because there's nothing worse than getting the tube home and realising you've missed your favourite. So from around Monday morning, you'll see all of the displays going up on social media, and Chelsea in Bloom have their own official photographer and they'll upload them to the website too. It's not very easy to work out what your favourites are going to be beforehand just based on a description. So the best way to do it is visually. You can follow me on social media. I will be taking one for the team. I am going to put my pitch in to be the official representative of Chelsea in Bloom. So yeah, definitely follow me and have a look. The other thing to do, which is my personal little favourite tip, is to come down on Sunday when the displays are going up. Now, it's a bit hit and miss, as you can imagine. They put the displays up all the way from the afternoon on Sunday, overnight, and they're up and completed on Monday morning. So it's up to you if you want to come down and see some of the florists hard at work. I absolutely loved it and I loved chatting to some of the florists last year. It was incredible. So what to wear if you're visiting Chelsea in Bloom and Belgravia in Bloom is whatever the hell you like, of course. But as you know me, I like a bright colour and I like the displays to be exciting and colourful and fun and Instagrammable. So I'm going to invite you to wear your most bright and floral and exciting clothes to come to look at these beautiful displays. But I will say, make sure you've got a pair of comfortable shoes on, because you do end up clocking the miles up as you walk around here. Although, as you know, there's lots of cafes and restaurants to stop off at as well. Okay, so Floweristas, you are going to come in to Sloane Square Tube, which is right behind me here. It's one of the smaller, neater, cuter tube stations that we have. Nice and old-fashioned and very sweet. It will be Chelsea Flower Show and Chelsea in Bloom at the time you visit, which makes it extremely busy. But they are extremely good at getting you out super fast and on your way, so don't worry too much about that. Duke of York Square is one of the key places for Chelsea in Bloom, and this is where you'll usually find the big display, which would usually be behind me. Last year we had this gigantic floral handbag. Oh my god, it was so perfect. Perfect for those Instagram moments. We love it. So definitely make sure you come here. There's also lots of the retailers around this little square that do take part. It changes every year, and there's also a floral covered tunnel. I'm trying to think of the word of tunnel then. There's a floral covered tunnel that goes into the square, which is very pretty too. I'm on the iconic King's Road, the place of excellent shopping if you're coming down here. And on this exact site here last year, there was an enormous punk rocker display representing the icons of this street. Now, there's also plenty of independent boutiques down here, and they're the ones that I really look out for. For example, Granado down here is one of my most pinned images on Pinterest and was an amazing swimming pool with a little itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini hanging above the door. There were also ballerinas. There was incredible Alice and Olivia boutique down here, had a beautiful woman with a lovely white dress and an umbrella. And further up, which is a little bit further up, about 10 minutes walk away from Sloane Square, you've got things like the Ivy, which went all out with their Sloane pony theme. My other favourites include Trinny London, which at all times of the year has this bright yellow outside, and they had this amazing bench outside a couple of years ago, which I absolutely loved. It's also worth coming by Rixo, who a couple of years ago had these amazing, massive, giant popcorns outside. Absolutely loved that. And my other favourite thing from years gone by was this like really cool Union Jack style minis that were in front of these like Union Jack coloured hearts. It was amazing. Pavilion Road and the surrounding streets are an absolute must visit. Every year they pick like a central thing to go at the top of this street, and last year they did a huge lipstick, which was absolutely incredible. And years gone by they've done huge Oscars, and it's a really busy area if you can tell. There's also plenty of really beautiful boutiques. I'm standing in front of Moy Stevens right now, the lovely florist, and there's also Kiki McDonough around the corner that has elaborate displays every year. Oh my god, they've done octopuses and they've done like a Jungle Book theme. They really go all out, so it's definitely worth it. It's a little bit more quieter and boutiquey and niche. It's a lovely street. And then around the corner from here, one of my absolute all-time favourites last year, and I can never say it, Cadogan Hotel has got the most incredible display outside last year. I'm hoping for the same again this year, or similar. And they had a beautiful display of Lady Astor outside in a gorgeous dress in all these pinks, and it was absolutely stunning. And that's a really lovely quiet location if you go around there. Of course, there are many, many luxury displays, but this area on Sloane Street seems to be the one where you'll see the most luxury and fresh flowers, which are obviously the hardest to keep alive for a whole week during this festival. And it's right here that I've seen some of my favourite displays. Cartier, they didn't do a display last year, but in previous years, they've done the most elaborate, most stunning displays. The Chelsea in Bloom activity does seem to be down towards the Sloane Square end of this street, so it's much more around here. There's things like Jessica McCormack last year was absolutely stunning. You've got Tiffany, which goes on and off again with what years they're doing things, so just check the map before you travel. And we've also got lots of beautiful hotels down this area as well. You've got Hackett, which is the menswear brand, and you've got restaurants. People do push the boat out down here, so it's well worth checking this little area out. Oh, and finally, Rag and Bone always seem to do something quite extraordinary on that corner. They've got a lovely corner property and they do something above the door, and it really always looks incredible. I've been looking at them doing it for years, and yeah, last year it had lots of blue. It was very stunning. Sloane Square is where it is at for a usually really big display for Chelsea and Bloom. I have seen here giant caterpillars, and last year they had a Sloane pony display with lots of ponies and lots of cowboy boots, and they actually had a huge cafe here as well where you can come and have a drink. It's one of their key installations usually in this area, so definitely one to stop off at as you go around. If you're enjoying this video, do make sure to like and subscribe so I can make even more of these. Now, back to the video. From Sloane Street and Chelsea and Bloom, we're going to cross over the streets and come into Motcomb Street, which technically is Belgravia in Bloom, and this is where the differences begin. Here they have a different theme, and it's right near Chelsea still though, so you've got this beautiful, beautiful area, very quaint, very gorgeous, lots of boutiques, cafes. It's absolutely stunning around here. In previous years, they've actually done amazing displays here. There've been peacocks next to the beautiful, what do you call it, telephone box. So check the maps to see if Motcomb Street is doing anything. It can be a little bit hit and miss of what they do, but what they do is often very spectacular. West Halkin Street is the home of Neill strain, and I definitely want to put this one on your map as one to visit. Last year they did the most incredible roses display, which was, oh my god, it was so good. The smell was incredible and the boutique is absolutely amazing. Such a great florist. And previous years they've also had like an underwater theme. They've done seahorses around the sides. So let's see what they do for this year.
On the way to our next stop, you'll pass the Harry Hotel and also to Chesham Place, two very beautiful hotels.
Elizabeth Street is one of my forever favourites. If you've been following me for a while, you will know it is full of amazing little independent boutiques, cafes, restaurants, hotels, you name it. It is teeming with people, the community is really thriving here, and it's a fantastic place towards Victoria to start ending your little Belgravia in Bloom war. So on this street, you'll have Peggy Portion, which is always decorated, no matter what time of year you come. It's always pink, it's always perfect. And you'll have plenty of other shops around here and big displays as well in the middle. I'm stood outside Pavilion stage at the moment. They've got this beautiful flower stand that's here all year round, but there's also Tom, there's Lime Tree Hotel, there's Chesham Place. There's so many places to come and explore, and I do hope you do a little bit of shopping too and get yourself a little coffee. Eccleston Yards is another little one to go and have a look at in Belgravia. It's an enclosed little space, but it's super interesting. It's got all of these little foodie places all around it, and everyone gets together in the middle and shares drinks and food. It's really lovely. And they have lots of displays here, so if you come during Belgravia in Bloom, hopefully there'll be a few around then too. While you're visiting Chelsea and Belgravia in Bloom, make sure you stop by one of the fantastic cafes and restaurants because it is stacked to the rafters with them. One of my favourites is the Ivy Chelsea Garden, which is all the way up King's Road, but it's absolutely stunning and has the most amazing garden. Really recommend that. One of my other favourites is in Elizabeth Street. Cleo is absolutely astonishingly gorgeous. Me and Fatina had a beautiful burger last year. We stopped halfway on this route. We had the most amazing time. It was so gorgeous in the sun. Another favourite is Peggy Portion for their cakes. Oh my God, they have the best cakes and decor. It's great. Tom also does a really mean brunch if you go on Elizabeth Street. Absolutely perfect.
Other foodie places include Vardo in Duke of York Square, a fantastic spot for people watching. Sloane Square has lots of cafes, including Cote and Colbert. The magnificent Cadogan Hotel on Sloane Street has the most incredible displays outside, and inside the interiors are exquisite. Just look at this incredible bar. There's a super chic bar at the Mandarin Oriental on Hyde Park. The Alfred Tennyson on Motcomb Street is such an aesthetic, cosy British pub with lovely, lovely food. For my aesthetic girlies, you'll also love the Anya Hindmarsh Cafe with lots of fun, Instagrammable treats. Towards the river, you might like to check out Cheney Walk. I've only been here for a Sunday roast, but it's a beautiful blue building with plenty of decorations. And a touch away from the main action is Fulham Road, where you'll find Riccardo's, which is great if you are looking for gluten-free and incredible Italian restaurant. This is very kind of neighbourhood, family-run, very lovely.
I hope you enjoyed my tips and tricks for Chelsea and Belgravia in Bloom. Make sure that you put a little comment here and ask me any questions if you need an answer, and I will help you. I hope you're looking forward to coming, and I shall see you there.